Bringing you the voice and vision of custom culture and lifestyle, as seen through the eyes of this South Texas duo. Welcome to the Custom Couple.
My name is Billy D, and I'll kick your ass.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Custom Couple, and on the mic with us is not Billy D.
Oh.
But our good friend Todd. What's up, Todd?
Nada, how are you guys doing?
We're just getting off work and recording podcasts. We're fucking living the dream.
Yep.
I'm tired.
So this is life. Like in the middle of the week, we're just like, yeah, let's set up and record and drive cool shit. So Todd drove his cool shit over to the house. So for everybody who doesn't know Todd, you should go and find him at any car show and ask him to whistle for you. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about after you're getting in a really good conversation with Todd. So I'm excited for today's episode.
Oh, boy.
We're going to have people making you whistle at Roundup.
Oh, there he is over there.
That's the guy. Follow him.
Exactly. They're not even going to be like, talking like, hey, you whistle right now.
So.
He said, that guy said on that podcast.
It's $5 a whistle. Just started off at that, and I'm fine.
Hey, there you go.
Or a beer.
At $5, $7 if you want your autograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
$10 if you want a ringtone of the whistle.
There you go. We are marketing the hell out of this.
Telling you what, I'm liking it.
You know? So as for most of y'all, if y'all have heard our earlier episode, we don't have a whole lot of celebrities on the show, but we plan to create some. So Todd, you're probably going to start getting a lot more hits on your TikTok. A lot more hits on... No, I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah, probably not. It's not very interesting.
Probably not. How did you get into like the whole car life, car culture? Did you grow up in it, or was it something you just fell into later on?
Not at all. I just one day I saw some TV shows, that are out there, and I was really wanting an old truck just to drive around and do that. And so it took 3 years to build, and had a lot of help from my friend Ricky, and other people, Justin Bloomer, and stuff like that, But we got it going, and I just fell into a culture I didn't know was out there. I never really saw anything ever, and then I got this truck and started driving it, and it just kind of like changed my life. It was a totally different everything. Now I know a bunch of way cool people and cool events and all kinds of stuff. It's just... How long have you had the truck now? I know it took you 3 years to build. When did you start on it? It's got to be a few years. 2013. 13. Yeah. Yeah, because you had it for a bit. Yeah, I've had it for a while, and before that, I bought it in 2012 from Nick. I don't remember his last name, but he had it, and it was just a cab, and he had started the project with all these parts and pieces that he was going to use, and I just ended up using the cab, the bed, and the rear end of the whole project, and the rest of it was just built from scratch. No shit. So yeah. Yeah, because we had talked before. You said that you had a buddy that had a frame table, and y'all built a frame for it and all that. Yeah, that was. You were like, "Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. It's a lot of work. It took forever." Yeah. Yeah. But man, the cool thing about it, is that these projects, they do take a while. Some of them go right together like Legos. You're bam, 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 you're done, and everything's good. Yeah. Some of them do take a long time, especially if it's a cab and a bed and a rear end. and then you just have to kind of find the puzzle pieces and figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. And then and then the roller coaster ride that goes along with it, you have your highs and your lows. You're like, oh, we got this part, cool, it's not going to work, oh man, and you got to figure out something else. And it's just,
dude, I have done that so much. Gone to the junkyard, brought home a rear end, and be like, it won't fit.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Oh, it could fit, but you have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how much do you really want to put into this? And
Exactly.
It's like, well, that's going for sale.
Yeah.
It was no longer a fun, easy fix. It now became a whole nother project on top of the project.
And weeks of depression. Crying.
Oh, I know. Your shit goes for sale a few times.
Yeah.
But you know what, like, going off of that thought, you know, the fact that it does take a while to build some of these things, the coolest part of it, though, is days like today when, you know, I'm sitting here on a typical Wednesday afternoon and I see this little truck just zip past my house. And I was like, oh, I was on the phone with her. I was like, oh, Todd just passed the house.
It's noisy.
And, you know, 3 or 4 cars passed by just in the I don't know if you noticed it, but just in the time that you were trying to park. And every single one of them just had eyes glued on you and thumbs up and all that. You know, that's a big part of what I love about these old cars.
Yeah.
I mean, people will damn near wreck you to give you a thumbs up.
It's crazy. I was coming home from Universal City a couple weekends ago, and I'm just putting down the highway, and this guy in this Toyota truck is like chasing me down with this video camera. And I'm like, dude, for one, I don't want you recording me. 2, you're on your phone, and all, you know, he followed me for miles. I caught it up to 85, 90, just
trying to get away,
just seeing how far he'll go. How fast will you go? Because I'm cutting through traffic, and I don't care about the slow lane. And I took him for a ride, and now finally I was like, I'm giving up, and he passed me up with this. I was like, yeah, like, dude, I flipped you off twice.
He loved it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh man. But so before this truck, you didn't have much of a car interest of old hot rods and shit?
Well, you know, I mean, I think everybody has a love. I mean, I would hope, you know, old cars or just hot rods or just
like a respect for them, or at
just
least.
Something like that. But I had a really good respect for them and all that stuff, and just really, but never thought I could afford it or I don't have any knowledge of it. So luckily, when I bought that cab, I just started talking to people, and I ran into Justin Bloomer, and then he introduced me to my friend Ricky, and we made it work. You know, they're like, don't worry about it. We'll show you how to do it. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just come on, let's go. And here we are. You know. Yeah. So I've learned so much on this journey. You know, the truck's been on the road for 5 years now, and you know, things happen. You got to figure it out, and you know, so it's been really cool. It's been a fun project and a learning for me. Yeah.
That's what I tell a lot of folks. You know, whether on the podcast or just out and about talking about cars. I didn't grow up in it.
Yeah.
And it was getting my first cars and a little bit of help with with getting them running that, you know, okay, now we're running, we're going to take it to Roundup.
Yeah.
And we're going to break down on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn how to fix what broke down.
On the side of the road.
On the side of the road.
Yeah.
And the most knowledge I ever got of anything I work on, and of course, I'm not the most knowledgeable car guy either. Like, I can't rebuild a carburetor in my sleep and all that some people can do. I'm not that guy. But all of the knowledge that I got was probably on the side of a road somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and... you know, a little bit of it was with my first truck. You know, I talked about that in another podcast. You know, it was like I got my first truck and it started breaking down, and I had to start figuring it out, or I wasn't going to make it to work.
Yeah.
So there was things like that you know, I gained a lot of knowledge from. But yeah, exactly. You know, you have a love for it, you have a respect for it, and then you start getting into it, and you start learning more.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm slowly starting to learn now. Just like I lovingly say all the time, and hearing you talk about it, where you had to find all these ends and bits to fix your truck. I'm slowly learning that now with the Thunderbird. I'm like, you know what? I am gonna cry today because I thought this was gonna be done. It's not gonna be done.
And then you go to get bolts. You get 6 bolts for $60. Like what? $60.
I literally went.
Just buy the bolts, man. You're gonna need them. Like really? Okay, it's crazy.
They sent me on a wild goose hunt to go get tubing for the Thunderbird, and I got 5 feet of it. It was like $45. I was like, $45 for a tube?
For some rubber tube?
I was just like...
No, but you do want the fuel to go from there to there.
You don't want it to melt on you on the highway. Then you're gonna break down again.
So we can totally sell you some plastic tubing.
We got some straws in the back.
I'm like, you know what? Sold.
So, I think we're doing all right. No, I'm making sure our batteries are good, so we don't break down in the middle of this podcast. Yeah, talking about breaking down and then equipment failures.
It's great.
Oh man, I so want to start pushing buttons.
Don't push buttons. Don't push buttons.
So Sam bought us this really awesome recording equipment, and everybody on the live feeds love it when I start pushing the buttons because there'll be like applause or people laughing and shit. It's hilarious.
I've been there with you guys. Like, oh, they're clapping again.
Yes. I mean, how can you deny it? We're the greatest thing according to that machine right there.
For sure.
They're loving it. But so me and Todd, we have a funny story. When we met was at the Viva La Grasa, that car show rockabilly weekend thing that we tried to do in San Antonio, and I really wish San Antonio could do better events because we have a huge scene here. And it just seems like every time somebody tries to do something here, just nobody comes out, and a few people come out and participate, and every year it's something different because we can't just keep something normal on the annual schedule, right? But we did that. I was vending at it, and you were helping Chris vend with Lone Star Pomade.
Yeah,
and that's when I met Todd, and we were all staying at Chris's lake house for the weekend.
Now I remember. They sold beer there, lots of it, and they didn't tell you to stop. And then I get to the lake house, and I'm still drinking beer.
And it was just wild because like the entire weekend, Todd's just got a ton of stories of things that he's been into, and we were all just dying laughing. And Chris is coming out, he's like, "Hey, we got neighbors, man.
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep it down.
You gotta keep your voice down, Todd." I'm like, "But the neighbors are way over there." No, but they can still hear you. Okay. And then I get excited again. I'm like, "Oh, dang, man, keep it down. All right, I'm sorry."
So then, like, of course, the whole next day at the show, we're all a little bit feeling it, and we're still trying to get through the show, and y'all are selling pomade, and I'm trying to sell Whistling Wolf t-shirts, and all that's going on. That night we go back to the lake house, and we're just telling more stories, and Chris is getting mad at us some more, and we just had a freaking blast that weekend. And the thing that always sticks out in my head, and this is why every time I see Todd, I make him whistle for me. He's telling this story about he ended up walking in the middle of a fireworks expo going on, and he's making whistling noises of each firework that's going off around him, and all of us were just dying laughing. And ever since then, every time I see him out at a car show or any kind of event, I'm like, "Hey, give me a whistle." So, that's part of this whole culture is like when you meet rad people, and you always see him at every show, and you're like, you can point him out. It's like, "Oh, I hung out with that dude one time."
Or the best thing is when you pull in, you go, "Oh, so and so's here," just by the cars. "Oh, so and so's here. So and so's here."
Yeah, you can pick out all the cars that you know. It's
like, they're all here. Cool.
Yeah,
you don't even have to see them.
Yeah, so you got into the building your truck and driving it. And when did you decided you're going to be in a club?
I've never been in anything like that before, so I didn't think about it. And then Mick, I don't know his last name. It's
I don't know either. I've just always called him Mick.
Yeah. So Mick had come over a couple of times while we were working on the truck, and I didn't, I saw Mick. My very first roundup was 3 years before the truck was on the road, but I'd been to every roundup since then. Mm-hmm. And so my buddy Ricky knows Mick, and so we were walking around roundup looking at this and that, and so it's like, oh, there's my friend Mick. And so we go up to Mick, and Mick looks at Ricky and goes, what do you want, Wade? And I was like, oh, this guy's a bad motherfucker. Just by looking at him, he's a motherfucking Mexican guy. He's going to cut somebody real bad, Wade. Oh, so I was like, oh, so I kept my kind of distance from him. Like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, this and that. And he was giving Ricky a hard time, and Ricky was giving him a hard time back. And anyway, so then when we started actually working on the truck, Mick had come by a couple of times just to see what was going on, and so I kind of got to know Mick a little bit better. But and then once the truck was on the road, I kept calling him, hey dude, let's go for a cruise. He's like, yeah, not today, this and that. Okay, so next week I call him, hey, let's go for a cruise. I'm not gonna go for a cruise, this and that. And so then finally I was like, he called me. He's like, hey man, you want to go for a cruise? I was like, yeah, dude, let's go. And he's all, 2 weeks from now, dude. He's like, we're all gonna go for a cruise. I was like, oh, cool. And it was the Elf Luis toy drop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the model citizens do that every year and stuff like that. And we showed up. He said, well, meet me at this address. And I was like, okay. So it was over on Joint Base over there where they do that thing. And there was probably 30, 40 cars stacked up. And I was blown away. Like, wow, my truck doesn't have any doors, no windshield, no floors, no bed cover. It's still a go-kart, but it had nothing, and it was cold, and I show up and I'm like, well, my car sucks. So, but everybody was like checking it out, like, man, check that out, and I was like, cool, everybody was really cool, so and that was kind of like my first intro to the scene, and then now that I look back at it, I've hung out with all those people that I first saw that day. Just in other clubs and other situations and stuff like that. So and then later on, Mick invited me to this and that. And so I got pulled on with the citizens. And so that was, that's how I got into the clubs, so that was, and I never thought about it or, that wasn't my first, thing. I'm gonna build a car and be in a club.
Yeah.
I just wanted a truck, a cool little truck, or this ugly, nasty thing going down the road as fast as I can make it go. And then it just happened that way. I got sucked into this. That little truck sucked me into a different life. And it's just so cool.
What's kind of cool. You mentioned that you had seen some TV shows and you had kind of like seen the culture around it, and then we were like, okay, I want to do that. And I always make it a point to have conversations about the fact that hot rodding today is very much changed by things like reality TV and
for sure
things like these podcasts now. Podcasts are becoming very popular. I mean, everybody's got a podcast for everything out there. If you want to know podcasts about how to fix your garbage disposal, there's somebody out there doing one. I'm sure of it.
And they're telling you about it.
And they,
you have to put the broom handle in there just perfect and at the 90-degree angle, and then you have to get your wife to hang off the end of it. Otherwise, it doesn't come loose.
Exactly. They're out there. They're everywhere. And I really do feel like it's not bad. In some aspects, you can get into conversations where people are like, they hate it. But in your story of how you got into cars and how you wanted to build a truck the way you did, that's something rad. Reality TV does help out in building this culture some. We can go on for hours about how much we hate certain shows on certain channels and whatever, but there is some good with the bad. You have those traditionalists out there that are like, this sucks. They're building shit stupid and that
whatever. And that was the thing. I saw this show, and I sat there and I thought about it. I thought about having an old truck or an old car for 6 years, and then finally one day I was like, I'm done thinking about it, and I went on Craigslist and started searching just stuff, and that's how I ran into Justin Bloomer. My friend was his roommate, and at one point in time, and so I called my buddy. I was like, hey, ask your friend if this is a good deal on this truck cab. And then Justin's like, nah, dude, screw that. My friend's selling his project for $850, the whole thing. I was like, oh, cool. So I went and checked it out, and it was a nasty chop. It was just ugly, and I was like, perfect. Then I bought it, and my brother was like, what are you going to do with that? And I was like, we're going to make a truck. He's like, you can't just build a car, dude. I was like, yeah, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. I don't, but
I've seen it done.
I've seen it on TV.
It's not just appearing like the pyramids did, all right? Jesus.
So,
it's cool though. Big shout out to Justin Bloomer. He runs No Corners Cut Fabrication. They were a sponsor for my old podcast.
Cool.
And
hint.
And Justin was on that podcast, and we talked about clown porn or something.
Oh, cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Big shout out.
Probably a podcast about that.
I'm sure there's a podcast about clown porn.
Oh, for sure, with green Jello.
Yeah. Has to be. Or has to be created.
No.
Oh, I got shot down, folks. But he's a super nice dude.
Yeah.
I can't say that enough about Justin. He is a super nice dude, and I think he was one of the first people that reached out to me when my Buick got messed up, and he was like, if you need anything, let me know.
A new car.
I ended up finding that Buick like a few blocks away from where his shop was there on Whirlwind, and it was bad. But he was like one of the first. Like, you need anything, let me know. We'll figure out how to work on it. We'll do something, and I big time appreciate that dude.
Yeah,
for real. But I know Chris appreciates him too, because he's been building a truck in his shop for a bit.
Yeah.
One of these days, Chris will get it done.
One of these days. He told me when he first started, I'm not in a hurry. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. Nobody's in a hurry until you start going. And you're like, I got to get it done. Chris is not in a hurry. Hey, how's the truck going?
It's there.
Like, dude.
I found a screw that I needed. Yeah. That's good. I'm good for the next year.
Exactly. But no, I mean, that's his deal. He's not in a hurry.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So, do you have plans to ever build anything else, or are you just good with your truck?
I do have another car I just bought, and so it's a 47 Plymouth Coupe, and
very nice. You gonna chop it?
No, I don't know yet. I mean, when I look at it, I just think it's so beautiful, and then someone said, you need to chop it. And I was like, man, I don't think I want to chop it.
I'm not 100% on board with the 100% chop everything.
Yeah.
Like, there's some that you're just like, leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
But then there's some people like Johnny, it's like, chop everything.
Yeah, exactly. My Thunderbird, chop it. It's already low.
Yeah, it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, I'm like, that's good enough.
Yeah. No,
you barely fit in my car. It's not going to work.
Yeah, he was like, give me the Plymouth and I'm going to chop it. Like, the 60 that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, just give it to me and I'll chop it.
We would have a submarine at that point because that's how small it would be. We wouldn't have a giant boat car. It'd be a submarine at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got you said 47?
47, yeah.
47 Plymouth. And then your truck is a 46?
46.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe I'll get a 48.
I was going to say to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, but I won't ever build one from the ground up. That was a lot of work, a lot of headache. And, you know, it's totally, when I called the insurance company, they said, okay, so you have a 46 Chevy truck. Yep. Well, that's the cab. And then, you know, well, were there any modifications to the truck? I say, no. And they're like, okay,
not.
well, what engine do you have? And I say, a 350. And they're like, okay, well, besides the engine modification, are there any other modifications? I was like, well, it's on air ride. Oh, okay, so air ride. Anything else? And I was the whole thing is an experiment, man. You don't want to insure me, but please insure me, the whole thing. So they're like, okay, cool, just give us this much money. Like, oh, awesome.
We just start with, it is the safest truck ever.
It's a full-grown man's go-kart, please.
Obviously, that is rubbed off because now this grown man over here has a go-kart of his own.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm slowly learning that he's going to drive like hell everywhere.
Well, that's why we have them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I remember the minute he saw yours back out on the road and driving everywhere, he's like, I'm ready. I want one. I was like, oh no.
And my truck, the transmission broke for the third time 2 weeks before the COVID lockdown. And so it was the third time, and I was pissed, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care anymore. And I put it in my shop at the house, and then the lockdown came. Yeah. I was like, cool, I don't care. And I just left it there. And I just didn't care. I was mad at it, you know, just mad about the whole situation. Roller coaster ride again. And so then, you know, and then Will's all, hey man, are you in a kart club? Or are you just like hanging out with us? I'm like, all right, that's cool, man. So I started searching the transmission, and I got a transmission. And anyways, we did the whole thing, and you guys were over there with me.
Oh yeah, we were over there. I saw 3 grown men trying to fit in a chopped truck that was on the ground. It was the funny. It was like trying to put all these clowns in a clown car. It wasn't going to work.
There will be plenty of pictures when this episode goes out. We'll promote it very heavily on our social media. I have
the pictures of all y'all trying to be in there.
Everybody that's listening to this, go check out the pictures that we put up on the Facebook page and on the Instagram page, because there's going to be pictures of a bunch of grown men. Actually, we had 4 or 5 people there that day.
Marcus was there, Ben was there, Billy, you, me, Penny. Mm-hmm. Penny counts. Penny's a man. She was supervising with Funyuns.
That's boss. Once she walks into the garage, everybody starts working.
Everybody stopped cussing. And everybody's like, we need to get to work.
Yeah. I still tell people the story that Penny said about Will's car, so... Yeah.
That's ultimate boss. If it doesn't work, she doesn't want it on the road. She's already said. She's like, no, you either fix it or get a new car. And I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, the second time that the caravan of cars had to pull over to the side, she was like, can you tell him to get a new car?
She's like, whose car is messing up now? And I was like, jeez, this isn't good.
It's like, you're telling him. I'm not telling him. You're telling him. Mm-hmm. But no,
for everybody that doesn't know, Penny is 5 years old. She'll be 5 years old this month, April 27th. But she is a 5-year-old girl who loves and wants to be in all the cars and see every single car she can, and she wants to play with them all. So yeah, no, she's already cutthroat. She's already like, no, if it doesn't work, don't drive it.
Yeah,
fix it.
Leave it home. You can ride with me.
Yeah, no, she totally is, and every time that the weekend is coming up, she's like, "Are we gonna hang out with the car friends?" Yep. That's what she calls our car club.
Yeah.
So
she won't remember anybody's name. She's like, "No, they're all car friends."
The car friends.
Got it.
So that was the other thing, having Todd on the podcast. Another fellow dead Texan.
Yeah.
We had Ben on the podcast. Billy's on the schedule to be on the podcast. I told him as soon as the transmission is fixed in his car, he can be on the podcast.
Yeah,
because he was already.
Hey, look, if it doesn't work, then just get it off the road.
No, but you know, all of the dead Texans at some point are going to roll onto these microphones, and it's going to be really cool when we put everything together.
Yeah.
And you know, we start putting out some things for the club. You know, we can have, you know, some audio clips from our podcast. We can have some video clips of us rolling around. It'll be really rad.
I was going to say, because we talked about that for a bit before we were even ever in the Dead Texans. We wanted to originally film y'all and do like a background on all of y'all and film and get everybody talk. Kind of do like our own little like film in a way. And we planned that like a year ago. Like, no, a couple months ago. We decided we want to do that, and then look, it just fell in our favor that now we're part of it. And
here you are.
You know, now it's even more fun. You know, I get to meet everybody. Everybody's been so nice to me and showing me like how pissed off you can get from a car and how much they can break your heart, basically.
100%.
I think it's just fun to know that, like, you know, y'all have welcomed us with, you know, open arms, and we haven't, you know, we've had nothing but fun, and you've accepted us in the family.
That's what it's about,
Yeah.
Have a good. That's what let's just have a good time and hang out and help each other. You know.
You know, I'm probably gonna piss off a bunch of people right now, but you know what else? Like, it just kind of came to my mind that has kind of helped with, you know, what's going on in the car world right now. Social media. And specifically TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm seeing so many car videos right now. So many, you know, although you can't post burnouts.
What?
Videos of burnouts.
They'll flag it.
Will get flagged and taken down. One of mine did.
And then one of Johnny's did too.
Yeah, one of Johnny's did too. So yeah, burnouts is, I guess, toxic masculinity.
Toxic, literally what I was going to say, like toxic masculinity, sir.
Exactly.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know.
No, we're just blaming it on that. But yeah,
okay.
no, he posted like 2 videos.
Hey, you want to talk about some toxic men? I'll show it to you. I'll kick your ass.
No, he posted like 2 videos and they were gone within 10 minutes, and then he did it again the second day and they got rid of it again. And he's like, okay, well, I guess that's a no then.
But that's the thing too. It doesn't tell you why it's being taken down. So I thought maybe I cussed in it or something. I was like, there's not even any words. It's not even any sound.
Yeah.
Hashtag TikTok. We're gonna find out why.
Yeah, we gonna find out. But I think social media is another thing that is helping, you know, and build and get people aware of the car culture.
Well, and the cool thing about social media is you put a car event or any event on it, and people can share it and share it and share it and share it. You know, and it brings more attention to, you know, events and shows and stuff. So that's, you know, that's pretty cool.
I think it is. And, you know, if people don't like that, and I'm sorry, but you probably saw the link to this podcast on a social media post.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it is a big thing. But for real, I am just seeing crazy amounts of videos of, you know, different cars, you know, painters in their shop painting cars.
For sure.
You know, and the fact that it's just these little 15-second videos with some cool music, and it's quick and easy, and you know, and some of them are quick and easy. Some of them are more intricate. Like some of the things that Sam has posted, like she'll spend like 2-3 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the videos to line up perfectly to the music.
Exactly. It has to hit the exact beat, and the transitions have to be just right. If not, I will delete it and start all over again. And I'll probably cry a little bit, but then once it posts, I'm happy. But I think that's you know, when COVID started, I think that's what, you know, pushed social media even more, because you had no way of seeing anything. You had no way of going to a show, of having any kind of music or anything. So, you know.
That's another thing. DJs popping up on like Facebook Live and things like that. You know, COVID did a lot of weird things for us.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thinks it did a lot of weird things against us, but I think some was, you know, a step in the right direction. Maybe
I don't want to leave my house and go to work anymore. I want that break again. It was a month off.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't get a month off. I'm essential. That's what they told me.
Sorry.
I felt like Dewey standing there holding the mop.
Yeah.
I'm essential.
Stupid.
Yeah, I got about a month off, a little more, but it was painful at the end. I was like, I just need to go do something.
Yeah.
Oh, we went through that. We had that one. We were like that for a while because we got so used to doing something every weekend. And I was like, well, shit. You can only do so much at the house until you're bored of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you realize that you can't go out anywhere like without a mask, and you're just like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. Can't breathe.
I can't breathe. You know, I walk into some place without a mask and I'm getting looked at like I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, we got into a fight in HEB one day. Some old lady tried to swing on Sam.
You know, like, oh man, fuck that lady. She's a fucking asshole.
She was avid about the fact that we weren't wearing a mask. And this was
when it first started. This is when it first started. And I remember we were just going. I was like, oh, let's go get dinner. You know, I'll cook. This is why I never will cook ever again because she pissed me off so bad. No, we went by and she's like, excuse me. And I was like, I thought, oh, she's going to ask me where something was. And she's like, why aren't you wearing a mask? And I was like, because I don't need to. And she's like, well, aren't you worried about my health? And I was like, no. And I was like, you have a mask on, you're fine. And she's like, well, that's just so disrespectful. Like, started going off on me that I was like the worst human being. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Then I walked away. I was so mad. I was like, all these people like at HEB were just staring at me because like she wasn't cussing at me, but she was like yelling at me like I was a little kid. And I was like, this fucking lady, I'm gonna hit her. I'm gonna go to jail right now.
You know, and for folks that aren't in the San Antonio area, you don't come to the southwest side of San Antonio and pick fights. You just don't.
Not when you're a little old white lady and you got a 25-year-old Latina who's ready to fight at the drop of a hat. Like, you just don't do that.
I didn't say that, folks. No, I did not say that.
I will gladly say that.
My wife is the sweetest thing ever. Now, if she said that she was about to fight, then that's another thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
My wife is the sweetest thing ever. She will not stab you in your sleep.
No.
Please.
To be continued.
If there's another episode of this podcast, it's because I didn't get stabbed in my sleep.
So that means he survived another night.
Yeah, so please keep sending money to the podcast so I can survive. At some point, I'll have to do a plate sale for the medical bills.
Yeah.
Your likes will save his life.
Yeah. Barbecue, please.
If you're listening on Apple Podcast, reviews and ratings are very much appreciated, and they will save my life. Just throwing that out there. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast channels, whether it be Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, or any of them out there, be sure that you follow or subscribe. If you're able to, share the hell out of it, because that will just make this thing grow and get out to more people listening to really rad shit going on in our car culture. And for the most part, you know, everything that we're involved with right now will be in the local South Texas area, but we have a few trips planned already. So I think we're going to end up in North Texas at some point in the next month and get about 5 or 6 interviews knocked out. Cool. So yeah, things are going to be growing like hell. So definitely keep sharing all of this. Share all of our posts on Facebook when you see us promoting the new episodes coming out, because it definitely helps. Todd, you got any folks that you want to give some shout outs to? Some people that helped you along the way and made you who you are today and all that goofy shit?
Some chickens.
Some chickens. Thank you, chickens, for all the eggs you give me. Just everybody that helped me with that old truck, and it's been a good ride,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So you heard it here on the Custom Couple. Sam, you got anything you want to add before we call it a night?
Thank you, Ruben, for the pizza.
Hell yeah! It's some delicious pizza. So Marco's Pizza,
sponsor us.
Just throwing it out there.
No, that's really. I'm trying to think of what else we got going on. Oh, I want to throw a shout out to Rooster, who's currently working on my Thunderbird. Probably when this episode comes out, it'll be done. But once he hears this, he can hear me thanking him because he's been working on it tirelessly for 2 weeks back to back when he said it was going to take like a month.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been trying to knock it out and get it to a better condition than what it was in.
Oh, it was in crap condition.
Yeah, so yeah, he's definitely been killing it.
I finally reached that past denial stage where I'm like, my car's fine. It's great. It works. It turns on. That's not the case.
Never. Ever.
But no, I think that's really it, you know.
All right, folks. Well, like I said, you heard it here on the Custom Couple, and with all things custom, keep it cool.
Bye.
Bye.